next guest here on International Live is this is going to be a fun interview because I often have different guests on the Sunday radio program, or we have guests on here, Danny, that they present themselves in such a way. And I'm like, this next artist that we're going to be talking today, Josh Lyon, is a guy who should be teaching bands how to make press kits, because he sent me a press kit, because I'll talk to anybody that'll talk to me, and Dan will talk to anybody that gets booked on this show. So how things work is I got this submission from Josh, and it's entitled "ThrowPillows New Artist Submission." And so I opened this up. I've got all this music, and then for our viewers on KJAGradio.com, he sends these photos, and it's him with throw pillows. He's living the gimmick, as they say in the world of professional wrestling. And I got to shut the hell up and let the people with the talent talk. Josh, tell me and Dan a little bit about you, sir.
Well, thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, I have my photographer here in Nashville, Jason Denton, to thank for those photos. But I've lived in Nashville for about 10 years. I moved here to do music about 10 years ago, and played around, and then life got in the way and started working on my career in live sound and doing other things. And then in 2019, just decided that it was time to start writing and making music again. So I started making some demos with some friends of mine, and then at the end of last year started going into the studio and recording again. Or end of 2019, I should say, not last year.
Yeah.
I'm loving the big piano you got in the background.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Very nice.
She's my favorite, yeah.
Is that missing the front panel, or is it designed like that so you can see all the insides, and have you just tuned it?
I took it off because I love seeing the hammers hit the strings when I'm playing. It also makes it a little bit louder for me. I'm a rocker, so I like things to be a little bit louder. So.
Yeah, cool. And all the mechanics of it all working is brilliant as well, isn't it? Seeing all that. Yeah, no,
exactly.
Don't blame you, to be fair. No, very smart, very nice.
That's
so
awesome.
do you got a studio in the room there with you? Do you record in there?
Yeah, I do most of my recording here in my home studio. So the room we're in right now is actually my living room. I've got the piano behind me, another piano over to my right here, and then in another room is where I've got the computer and the whole control center and all that. And it's great. I love working from home. I've been doing it since before COVID, but even now, it's nice to have everything within one space. I don't have to go too far to be creative.
Yeah, and how have you managed during this last 12 months? Have you have you still been creating stuff? Have you been on doing other stuff?
We as a band we played our very first show back in February, and that was the first time we'd ever played out as ThrowPillows, and then we were booked to play another show in April, and obviously that got canceled, and it's been pretty quiet since then. But we've just been recording here at the house and trying to be creative. There was a time there at the beginning where everything was kind of a little depressing, and it was kind of difficult to feel in the creative spirit. But towards the end of the summer, things kind of kicked in a little bit more, started getting some inspiration, and so started writing some songs for that I'm going to be releasing in 2021. So now that things have kind of settled in, and there's not a whole bunch of ifs and everything in the air, it's a little bit easier to get into that mindset.
Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the idea behind ThrowPillows, what was that? Just
so I've always really enjoyed writing, and I always tend to write things that are kind of introspective in nature, but then when I go to put music to it, not always, but I tend to come up with things that sound a little more poppy or a little bit more, major chord, as one might say. And so, when we were doing the demos, and I was just kind of sitting around trying to think of, what what I might want to call the project. And of course, as you guys know, and everybody who's in the music industry knows, trying to come up with an original band name is like impossible now. But I was just sitting on my couch and contemplating, and I had a throw pillow under my arm, and I was looking at it, and I thought, this throw pillow is such a perfect metaphor for what I'm trying to do here, because every throw pillow is different. Everybody uses throw pillows as a way to express themselves, and they can be lighthearted and silly. They can have funny expressions on them or interesting designs. And so I thought, well, I feel like my songs are almost like throw pillows in a way, and that every single one is different, but they all kind of mean something about the person who owns them. And I Googled it, and it wasn't taken, so I decided to use it.
That is fantastic. So this first song we're going to hear, Minimum Wage. Tell us about Minimum Wage. Minimum Wage,
out of all the songs that I've released so far, took the longest to write, It's kind of an ode to hipster culture mixed with this idea of, especially in the social media age that we live in now, like you got to present your best image of yourself online or just out in public, but then, you might go to work the next day and you're serving coffee at a Starbucks, or you're folding jeans at the mall or something like that. But when you show yourself to other people, you're trying to be the best, most interesting thing you can. So all the lyrics in this song kind of are, it's almost like a song of resentment, of having to feel like I need to be this thing that I'm not, just to impress people. And there's a couple of other little themes mixed in there too, but that's the general overall vibe of the song.
That's awesome. Well, we are going to go to it. I'm going to place our friend here, Josh, on hold with Dan. We are going to play this track, and it is Throw Pillows. Put them away.
Jacket from the second-hand store. It's locally sourced. It says so on the door. Everybody's looking for the hole in the wall or the next pub crawl. Forget the tetherball. I've been walking in somebody else's shoes. Yours are brand new, so I'm cooler than you. We're all trying for a spot up on the stage, just working all day, making minimum wage. Can't understand where to go, what's the plan to stick it to the man. Everybody's talking about the words on the screen, all the space in between, forget the trampoline. Something's happening in front of my two eyes. Everything's changed, man, what a surprise. We're all living in a catatonic state, just working all day, making minimum wage.
Absolutely amazing. It is Throw Pillows. And we are going to go back to our guest. And I just, the whole thing is great. The photos, the just the marketing that you've done here. This is tremendous, Mr. Josh. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So, where can we find you on social media? What is the best spot to send people to? I know you're on Spotify and Instagram and everything.
Yeah, I do. I'd say 95% of everything on Instagram. Of course, I've got them linked up now. So since Facebook bought Instagram, everything that I post on Instagram ends up on Facebook too. But it's Throw Pillows on Facebook and Throw Pillows Music on Instagram. So it's that's where you can see me pretty much most of the time.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, we've got your other songs, and I'm going to make sure that Dan gets those, and he'll stick them in at some point. I know on his show or on this show, and I thank you for joining us today. Thanks for doing this, brother.
Yeah, no problem. You guys have been great. Really appreciate it.
This has definitely been fun. We will definitely talk to you again. There he goes.
Thank you, Josh.
Josh Lyon with